Hello, my name is Hallie Yamamoto, and today I'm going to talk about how to be an effective instructional partner. So, my inquiry learning question was: what are some of the best methods teacher librarians have found to get teachers into the Media Center or to get new teachers to collaborate with them? And I wanted to answer this question because in my field experience and in my classes, I have realized that many librarians find it difficult to get these teachers into the library, to get them to understand what it is we do in the library. So I really wanted to know how we can make them realize that what we do in the library is important and exciting. So I decided to start with new teachers. So for brand new teachers, what are some of the methods that we can use to get them into the library? And the first thing that really needs to be done is to give these teachers a framework for collaborating. And this is mostly from Laboon's article. And Laboon said that teachers and librarians have two very specific roles in the collaboration process that they kind of bring together. So the teachers, to begin with, need to have a very clear purpose for bringing students to the Media Center. They can't just be bringing them there so that they can have an extra planning period. The teachers need to know why the students are going to the Media Center and how that's going to help with the curriculum. And this purpose needs to be tied to their classroom teaching, to what they're learning in the classroom. So the librarians, their job is to teach a skill lesson. So they need to be making sure that the students are learning a skill, while the teachers need to make sure that the students are learning part of the curriculum. And the librarians need to be available during the lesson as a skills expert, while the teacher needs to be available as a content expert. Both the librarians and the teachers need to be available to monitor and assist the students as they work. The teachers cannot be off planning another lesson. Both teachers and librarians need to be roving among these students so that the students are using both the teacher and the librarian as assets. And then at the end of the lesson, the teacher needs to make sure to remind the students of the connection to what they're learning in the classroom. So they're not just leaving what they learned in the Media Center. They need to be able to come back to the classroom and know how what they learned in the Media Center ties to their classroom teaching. And then at the end, both the librarians and the teachers need to have some kind of assessment. The librarians need to be assessing the skills, and the teachers need to be assessing the content so that both the teacher and the librarian can see how their collaborative effort worked to teach a skill and a content lesson. And then Latham also Latham had an interesting article where she spoke to MLIS professors and education professors at the same university and found that teacher-librarian collaboration is taught very heavily in MLIS curriculum, while collaboration is not taught as much in education curriculum, and when it is taught, it's mostly teacher-teacher collaboration. So Latham said that librarians need to be very specific about what needs to be done because of the fact that many teachers might not know how this collaboration is going to look, but the librarians have spent lots of time in their master's degree learning how this collaboration should work. And then Small had some interesting tips about how to collaborate. Small mentioned that there needs to be a mutual respect between both of the collaborating parties, which I thought was a really good point, and I did not find in other articles. Small said that both the teacher and the librarian need to see each other as desirable collaboration partners. So they almost need to be friends or have an established friendship so that they see each other on the same level of respect as each other. And then that respect of each other's roles needs to be maintained in order to continue having a great collaborative relationship. And then awareness of the role of the SLMS does need to be present. So the SLMS will have to seek out teachers to work with and find at least one who has that respect for you and who is willing to collaborate. And then even if you just have one teacher that you have success with, you need to advertise that success with teachers, scream it from the mountaintops to the rest of the staff so that they know, oh, there's been success in the Media Center. We want to bring our students there. So then we move on to teachers who are new, not necessarily to teaching, but to the Media Center. And Fry and Little had some strong opinions about not making the teachers come to you. Their tips were things like walking the hallways before and after school so that these teachers see you out and about. Giving a presentation to the teachers about the library services so the teachers are aware of what you're doing in the library, maybe even share with them some of the new technology and how you plan on using it. And then Fry and Little disagreed a little. Fry said that you should invite yourself to department meetings, and Little said that you should get invited to department meetings. So Little was saying that you need to make friends with them first and then kind of nudge them a little bit to invite you, while Fry was saying you should just come to them and say, hey, I'm going to be in your meeting on Monday. And then Little suggested to take the show on the road. So even offering to go to their class to do a lesson. And I do understand that you are limited if you don't have a library assistant or someone else working in the Media Center with you. But if you do, that's a great option to go to their classroom so that they get the benefit of seeing what you do, but they don't even have to leave their comfortable space. And then they do have very precious little amounts of time, so make it worth it. Little said you should know your school's curriculum because you can go to the teacher and suggest the lesson and also tell them how it's going to work into the curriculum. So the teacher doesn't even have to worry that it's not going to work into the curriculum. And then create time savers for those busy teachers, those teachers who aren't able to make it down. You can create LibGuides for specific subject areas. You can set aside a special collection for a class research project, or you can even find lesson planning materials for difficult subject matter. So these busy teachers might not necessarily be collaborating with you, but you are helping them and they're seeing that you are a helpful resource in the school. And then what if they really don't want to collaborate? Some suggestions were to improve your professional collection and advertise the professional collection at faculty meetings, even sharing discipline articles with the faculty. And finally, if nothing else, they suggested to have a library party with food, which I thought was a funny suggestion, but I do see that it's a great way to get these teachers into the Media Center and see what's going on in there. And then finally, coming together. Montiel overall broke Lorchard's taxonomy down into 4 models, which I really liked and made it easier for me to remember. Model A is about coordination. It involves 2 people, presumably the SLMS and the teacher, sharing space, time, or students, etc. But it is the least amount of work. So it would be something like creating those LibGuides, or even just letting a teacher bring their students down to use the computers. But it's not much more than that. Model B is cooperation or partnerships. So the teacher and the SLMS work together toward a shared goal, but they don't necessarily plan and evaluate together. And that's kind of the hardest one for me to understand, because I just don't understand why you would work toward a shared goal but not plan together. And then Model C is integrated instruction, which is where the SLMS and the teacher plan, teach, and evaluate as equals, teaching both the subject content and the library curriculum. And that would be where you get together so that you can plan a lesson, so that you can teach it to